Have you ever wondered how Surah Al-Kahf can shield you from the greatest trials of the end times? In a world that's rapidly changing, filled with challenges that seem beyond our control, the timeless wisdom of the Quran continues to offer us profound guidance and protection. Surah Al-Kahf, a surah with deep spiritual and practical significance, stands as a beacon of hope, showing us how to withstand the most daunting trials. But how exactly does it serve as a shield against the trials of the end times? What does this surah have to teach us about surviving the fitan, the tests and tribulations that are prophesied to shake the world before the day of judgment? Surah Al-Kahf, which spans 110 verses, was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, at a time when the early Muslims were facing persecution and adversity. Among its many lessons, it holds a particularly powerful message: that through patience, faith, and reliance on Allah, we can withstand the trials that lie ahead. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, himself recommended the recitation of this surah every Friday, stressing its importance as a source of protection from the fitan that will emerge in the future. The significance of Surah Al-Kahf cannot be overstated. It was revealed as a guidance for both immediate struggles and for the distant future. The surah addresses themes such as steadfastness in faith, the deceptive nature of the world, and the trials that believers will face as they navigate through life. But it doesn't just teach us about the past. It prepares us for the future. In the narrative of the people of the cave, the two gardens, and the story of Dhul Qarnayn, we find lessons that directly apply to the unprecedented challenges we will face in the end times. These stories remind us of the importance of patience, humility, and unwavering belief in Allah, especially when confronted with falsehoods and tribulations. As we stand at the threshold of what may be the most trying period in human history, it's vital to understand how Surah Al-Kahf serves as a spiritual weapon. The surah equips us with the inner strength and clarity needed to navigate the confusion and darkness that may cloud our path in the future. It teaches us how to keep our hearts grounded in faith, how to rely on Allah alone, and how to see through the illusions that may distract us from the truth. In this video, we will delve deep into the ways in which Surah Al-Kahf offers guidance and protection against the trials of the end times. We will explore its stories, lessons, and messages that are just as relevant today as they were when they were first revealed. Whether you are seeking personal protection or looking for ways to strengthen your faith during uncertain times, Surah Al-Kahf holds the key to facing these trials with resilience and steadfastness. Let's discover together how this remarkable surah can be your shield when the trials of the end times unfold. Before starting this video, don't forget to like this video because it gives us a lot of strength to continue sharing beneficial content. And I invite you to subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell to stay informed of our next publications on the Islamic faith. Share it with your loved ones and leave a comment to tell me what you think. Thank you and good video. Historical and scriptural context. Surah Al-Kahf, the 18th chapter of the Quran, is a powerful and timeless surah that addresses themes of faith, patience, and the trials that believers will face. It was revealed in Makkah during a time when the early Muslims were experiencing intense persecution and social upheaval. The surah was revealed to offer them solace, reassurance, and guidance in navigating the challenges they were encountering, and it continues to be a source of strength for Muslims today, particularly in the face of modern-day trials. The central story within Surah Al-Kahf is that of the people of the cave, Ashab Al-Kahf, a group of young men who sought refuge in a cave to escape the oppressive rule of a tyrannical king. They were forced to leave their city because of their belief in the oneness of Allah and their refusal to worship false gods. Seeking Allah's mercy and protection, they entered the cave,
where they miraculously slept for many years. When they awoke, they discovered that the world around them had changed, and the oppression they had once feared had ended. This story, as told in verses 18:9 to 26, serves as a metaphor for the believer's journey through trials and tribulations, encouraging patience, trust in Allah, and the ultimate reward of divine protection. Allah recounts their story with a powerful reminder of His sovereignty and power over all matters. In verses 18:9 to 26, He reveals how, despite their flight from their oppressors, Allah's mercy kept them safe and preserved their lives, allowing them to remain undisturbed for centuries. The story teaches us that, like the young men in the cave, believers should have unwavering faith in Allah and trust that in times of difficulty, He is the best protector. The episode of the cave is not only a literal story, but a symbol of how Allah supports His believers in their most desperate times. In addition to the story of the people of the cave, Surah Al-Kahf contains other parables and stories that continue to offer guidance for believers. One of these is the story of the two gardens, 1832 to 44, where a wealthy man is shown to rely on his material wealth, forgetting the importance of humility and gratitude to Allah. The story illustrates how worldly riches can lead to arrogance and forgetfulness of the eternal reality. The story of Dhul Qarnayn, 1883 to 98, also emphasizes the need for faith in Allah, justice, and the pursuit of righteousness, especially for those in positions of power. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, advised reciting Surah Al-Kahf every Friday to protect oneself from the trials of life, especially those related to the fitna, trials, of the end times. In a well-known narration from Sahih Muslim, the Prophet said, "Whoever recites Surah Al-Kahf on Fridays, it will illuminate his week until the next Friday." The recitation of this surah is not just a ritual, but a means of seeking Allah's protection and blessings. It serves as a reminder that faith, patience, and trust in Allah are essential to navigating the challenges we face, particularly in times of tribulation. The purpose of Surah Al-Kahf, then, is clear. It addresses the trials and challenges that believers will face in both their personal lives and the larger, more universal struggles of the end times. It encourages believers to remain steadfast in their faith, to rely on Allah alone, and to hold fast to the truth, no matter how overwhelming the circumstances may seem. As we recite and reflect on Surah Al-Kahf, we are reminded that Allah's protection and mercy are always within reach for those who turn to Him in times of difficulty and hardship. Main content: A. Protection from fitna, trials. In Islamic terms, fitna refers to trials, tests, or tribulations that challenge a believer's faith, morals, or resolve. The concept of fitna is deeply woven into the fabric of Islamic teachings, and it encompasses a variety of hardships, both personal and societal, that test a Muslim's patience, devotion, and belief in Allah. Fitna can manifest in many forms, in the loss of wealth, health, loved ones, or even faith. The Quran and Hadith describe fitna as something that will intensify as we approach the end times, with the greatest trials lying ahead for humanity. This period is marked by widespread confusion, deception, and the rise of falsehood. As the end times approach, the nature of fitna will escalate in both magnitude and complexity. People will be tested in unprecedented ways, through external hardships like wars and disasters, as well as internal battles with doubt, confusion, and the influence of false ideologies. These trials will be a means of testing the true strength of one's faith. Surah Al-Kahf, however, offers believers a spiritual refuge to shield them from these overwhelming challenges. One of the most powerful aspects of Surah Al-Kahf is its stories,
which provide timeless lessons on how to endure fitna. Take, for example, the story of the people of the cave, Surah Al-Kahf, which is the first story in the surah. The young men who fled from their oppressive society sought refuge in a cave to escape the tyranny of a king who demanded they renounce their faith in Allah. Their story is an allegory for protection from oppression and falsehood, both of which will be rampant in the end times. Just as the people of the cave found shelter in their faith, Muslims today can find protection by turning to Allah, seeking refuge in their trust in Him, and remaining firm in their beliefs amidst societal pressures and persecution. Similarly, the story of the two gardens, 1832-44, sheds light on the dangers of materialism, arrogance, and greed, which are traits that will become more pronounced as the world nears its end. The wealthy man in the story arrogantly believes that his prosperity will last forever and disregards the importance of humility and gratitude to Allah. In the face of growing societal materialism, Muslims must avoid the temptation to place their trust in worldly possessions and instead focus on what is eternal, the pleasure of Allah and the righteousness of their actions. The story encourages believers to recognize that wealth and power are fleeting, and ultimately, only Allah holds control over all things. The story of Dhul Qarnayn, 1883-98, is another vital lesson. Dhul Qarnayn, a just and righteous leader, traveled far and wide, bringing justice to regions plagued by corruption. He also faced the challenge of confronting the Gog and Magog, a destructive force that will emerge during the end times. The story emphasizes the importance of justice, faith, and leadership in times of great tribulation. Just as Dhul Qarnayn's actions were guided by his faith and trust in Allah, today's leaders and ordinary Muslims alike must hold fast to justice and righteousness, no matter the trials they face. Together, these stories illustrate how Surah Al-Kahf offers practical lessons on how to navigate the fitna of the end times. From the protection offered to the people of the cave, to the warnings against materialism, and the call for just leadership, Surah Al-Kahf provides essential guidance to help Muslims stay grounded in faith and prepared to face whatever challenges lie ahead. B. The major signs of the end times and the role of Surah Al-Kahf. As we approach the end times, the Quran and Hadith describe several major signs that will indicate the imminent arrival of the Day of Judgment. Among the most prominent of these signs is the appearance of the Dajjal, the Antichrist. The Dajjal will deceive people on a massive scale, leading many astray with his false claims of divinity and his ability to perform miraculous acts. In addition to the Dajjal, other signs include widespread social upheaval, the breakdown of moral values, the spread of false ideologies, and a lack of true faith among many people. Surah Al-Kahf is uniquely relevant to these signs and trials. In fact, it was revealed to help guide Muslims through the challenges that will arise as these signs unfold. The surah is an antidote to the misguidance and confusion that will be prevalent during the end times. The story of the people of the cave serves as a direct response to the confusion and misguidance that will arise, especially with the appearance of the Dajjal. Just as the young men in the cave rejected the falsehood of their society and sought refuge in Allah's mercy, Muslims today must remain steadfast in their faith and reject the false ideologies and temptations that may arise, including those spread by the Dajjal. Their example reminds us that, no matter how severe the trials, Allah will protect those who turn to Him with sincerity and patience. The story of the two gardens also highlights the importance of staying true to one's faith in the face of confusion and societal pressures. As the world becomes increasingly materialistic and focused on wealth and status, Muslims are warned not to be deceived by the temporary nature of this world.
This lesson is crucial in an age where many are tempted by the false promises of consumerism and material success, which could lead them astray from the true path of righteousness. Furthermore, the story of Dhul Qarnayn offers guidance for believers facing societal upheaval and widespread corruption. As a just leader, Dhul Qarnayn built barriers to protect the people from the destructive forces of Gog and Magog, symbolizing the role of righteous leadership and the need for justice. In the end times, when corruption and injustice will dominate, it is imperative for Muslims to hold fast to their principles of justice and righteousness, just as Dhul Qarnayn did. Through these stories, Surah Al-Kahf empowers the believer to remain steadfast in the face of confusion, deceit, and societal collapse. It strengthens one's resolve to rely on Allah, trust in His guidance, and persevere through the fitna of the end times. See, the spiritual significance of the Surah Al-Kahf is not just a source of protection against the physical and societal trials of the end times. It is also a source of spiritual rejuvenation. In our daily lives, we face countless challenges that test our faith, patience, and resolve. Surah Al-Kahf offers us a reminder that no matter how dire the situation, Allah's protection and mercy are always available for those who seek them. The regular recitation of Surah Al-Kahf is a means of maintaining spiritual connection and clarity. As the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, advised, reciting Surah Al-Kahf on Fridays serves as a spiritual shield for the entire week, fortifying the believer's heart and mind. It offers guidance and reassurance, reminding us of Allah's sovereignty and the ultimate triumph of faith over adversity. The surah also serves as a constant source of reflection. Each verse and story invites contemplation on themes such as humility, patience, trust in Allah, and the transient nature of this world. In times of difficulty, it provides comfort, reminding us that the challenges we face are temporary, and that Allah's reward is eternal for those who endure with faith and patience. Finally, Surah Al-Kahf is particularly powerful in its ability to protect believers from the trials of the Dajjal. As the Dajjal's deception spreads, the surah's lessons become more important than ever. By reciting and reflecting on Surah Al-Kahf, Muslims can strengthen their resolve to stay true to their faith and avoid being swayed by falsehoods and misguidance. Through regular recitation and deep reflection, Surah Al-Kahf empowers the believer to navigate the trials of life and the end times with resilience, faith, and trust in Allah. Its spiritual significance cannot be overstated, as it provides both immediate and long-term protection from the fitna that we will undoubtedly face. Practical application. A. How to integrate Surah Al-Kahf into your daily routine. Daily recitation. One of the most powerful ways to integrate Surah Al-Kahf into your daily life is by making its recitation a regular habit. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, recommended reciting this surah on Fridays, but its benefits extend far beyond just that day. By incorporating Surah Al-Kahf into your weekly routine, you open the door to Allah's guidance and protection, ensuring that you are spiritually fortified to face life's many challenges. The surah offers solace during times of stress, confusion, and difficulty, which are natural parts of life. Whether it is personal hardship, loss, or simply the trials of the day-to-day grind, Surah Al-Kahf serves as a shield against negativity. Each verse reminds you that no matter how harsh the trial may seem, Allah's mercy and protection are always near. The story of the people of the cave, for instance, offers profound comfort when we feel trapped by life's circumstances, assuring us that there is always a way out when we place our trust in Allah. To integrate Surah Al-Kahf into your daily routine, set aside specific times for its recitation. Whether it's in the morning to start your day on a positive note, or in the evening to reflect on your day, making it a part of your routine helps bring a sense of peace and alignment with divine will. Moreover, the Prophet's advice to recite it on Fridays isn't just a ritual. It serves to protect the believer from the fitna, trials, of the week. Reciting it on Fridays ensures spiritual rejuvenation as the week transitions, grounding you in faith as you approach new challenges. Contemplating the verses, merely reciting Surah Al-Kahf is not enough. Reflection is key to extracting the deep wisdom within its verses. Each story in the surah contains lessons that are as relevant today as they were when they were revealed. For example, the story of the people of the cave highlights the importance of standing firm in one's beliefs, even when facing opposition or ridicule. The story of the two gardens serves as a reminder of the dangers of materialism and arrogance, urging believers to remain humble and remember that all wealth and power belong to Allah. Take time to reflect on how each story speaks to your personal struggles. Are you facing challenges in your faith, material desires, or the pursuit of power and recognition? Surah Al-Kahf challenges you to examine your priorities and your relationship with Allah. It encourages you to think about your daily decisions. Are they guided by faith, humility, and patience? Or do you sometimes lose sight of these principles in the rush of life? By contemplating these lessons, you can apply the surah's teachings directly to your own life, fostering spiritual growth and resilience. Taking action based on the lessons, recitation and contemplation must translate into action. The true benefit of Surah Al-Kahf lies not just in reading its words, but in embodying its lessons in everyday life. For example, the young men in the story of the cave trusted Allah to protect them from harm, demonstrating the importance of reliance on Allah in times of trial. Similarly, the story of Dhul Qarnayn emphasizes leadership based on justice and faith. In your daily interactions, whether in your work, family, or community, take these lessons to heart and strive to lead with patience, integrity, and trust in Allah. When facing hardships, think of Surah Al-Kahf's powerful message of resilience. If you find yourself feeling overwhelmed or powerless, remind yourself of the young men in the cave who, despite their dire situation, found solace in their faith. Practice patience, cultivate gratitude, and rely on Allah in every aspect of your life. You can also actively strive to avoid the pitfalls warned in the surah, such as arrogance, materialism, and arrogance, as you make decisions throughout the day. It's through these small, deliberate actions that Surah Al-Kahf will become a living part of your life, helping you grow spiritually and deal with life's trials effectively. B. Protecting yourself from the fitna of the end times. Awareness of the signs of the end times. One of the key themes of Surah Al-Kahf is that of fitna, or trials, especially as the end times approach. We are warned of a time when deception and misguidance will run rampant, and only those who have strong faith and conviction will be able to resist the trials of these turbulent times. One of the most prominent signs of the end times, as described in the Hadith, is the rise of the Dajjal, the Antichrist, a figure who will deceive many with his ability to perform miracles and his claim to be divine. In addition to the Dajjal, other signs of the end times include the spread of false ideologies that distort the truth and the growing prevalence of materialism, which leads many people to prioritize worldly gain over spiritual well-being. Surah Al-Kahf provides invaluable guidance on how to guard against these trials. The story of the people of the cave teaches us to resist the pressures of societal conformity and to hold fast to the truth, even when it goes against the majority. Similarly, the story of the two gardens warns against the lure of material wealth and the importance of humility. Recognizing these signs in our modern world requires spiritual vigilance. We live in a time when misinformation and deception spread easily, especially through social media and other forms of communication. False ideologies, materialism, and the erosion of moral values are prevalent, and it can be difficult to discern the truth. However, by regularly engaging with Surah Al-Kahf and reflecting on its lessons, we can protect ourselves from being led astray. Building resilience. To protect yourself from the fitna of the end times, it is essential to cultivate inner strength and spiritual awareness. This can be done by engaging in regular dhikr, remembrance of Allah, prayer, and deep reflection on the meanings of the Quran. These practices help to shield the heart from the confusion and deceit of the world around us. Dhikr, in particular, keeps our hearts connected to Allah and reminds us of the truth of this world and the next. Surah Al-Kahf offers a powerful remedy against the fitna of the end times, as it reinforces the idea that true security lies in faith and reliance on Allah. By making the recitation and reflection on this surah a part of your daily life, you build a spiritual resilience that will help you navigate any trials that come your way. Just as the people of the cave found protection through their unwavering faith, you too can find refuge by holding fast to Allah and trusting in His wisdom. Practical steps. The best way to protect yourself from the fitna of the end times is to take concrete steps to strengthen your faith and spiritual practices. Here are some practical examples. Set a regular time for Surah Al-Kahf's recitation. Make it a habit, especially on Fridays, and reflect on the deeper meanings of its verses. Engage in daily dhikr and prayer. Strengthen your connection to Allah by remembering Him throughout your day and committing to regular acts of worship. Avoid the distractions of materialism. Reflect on the lesson of the two gardens and resist the temptation to prioritize wealth, status, or superficial success over spiritual growth. Stay informed, but skeptical. In a world flooded with information, ensure that you are rooted in knowledge from authentic sources. Seek guidance from the Quran, the Hadith, and trusted scholars. Strengthen community ties. Surround yourself with righteous companions who remind you of your purpose and encourage you to stay on the path of truth. Real-life examples of people who have found protection through faith in turbulent times abound. For instance, during times of political unrest, individuals who remain steadfast in their faith and rely on Allah for protection are often able to endure hardships with patience and resilience. Stories from history, such as the companions of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, who faced persecution in Makkah, can inspire us to stay firm in our beliefs, even in the face of adversity. By incorporating Surah Al-Kahf into your daily routine and applying its lessons to your life, you can shield yourself from the fitna of the end times. It serves as a spiritual shield, providing you with the strength, wisdom, and resilience needed to navigate the trials of life and the challenges that lie ahead. Conclusion. As we come to the end of this exploration, let's reflect on the profound significance of Surah Al-Kahf and how it serves as a shield against the immense trials we may face, especially in the end times. From the captivating story of the people of the cave to the lessons imparted through the two gardens and the leadership of Dhul Qarnayn, Surah Al-Kahf is a divine blueprint for how we can navigate the difficult road ahead. It offers protection, guidance, and resilience in the face of adversity, reminding us that true security lies in our faith in Allah and our reliance on Him during times of turmoil and confusion. The surah equips us with the wisdom to endure the fitna, trials, that will inevitably emerge as the end times draw near. The rise of the Dajjal, the spread of falsehood, materialism, and societal corruption. These are the challenges foretold, and Surah Al-Kahf offers timeless lessons to counter these forces. The stories of the people of the cave and the two gardens teach us about the importance of patience, humility, and steadfastness in the face of distractions and deceit. The leadership of Dhul Qarnayn, based on justice and faith, provides an ideal model for how we must stand firm in our beliefs while navigating the world's shifting moral landscape. Now, the next step is to act upon this knowledge. Make Surah Al-Kahf a regular part of your life. Set aside time to recite it every week, particularly on Fridays, as recommended by the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Reflect on the meanings of the surah and consider how its lessons apply to your personal challenges and the broader challenges facing our world. Allow its wisdom to inspire your daily actions and guide your decisions, helping you stay grounded in your faith and focused on what truly matters. The trials of the end times are not something to fear when we are spiritually prepared. By incorporating Surah Al-Kahf into your life, you are building a fortress of faith that will protect you from the spiritual confusion and distractions that threaten to lead us astray. Whether you are facing personal trials or witnessing the upheaval around you, the surah will be your refuge, providing clarity and peace in times of uncertainty. I encourage you to take action now. Make Surah Al-Kahf a part of your weekly routine and allow its teachings to shape your worldview. Reflect on the lessons of the surah deeply and fortify your faith. In a world full of uncertainty and distractions, staying connected to the Quran and seeking its guidance is more crucial than ever. Finally, I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you experienced moments where the lessons of Surah Al-Kahf provided you with guidance or protection? Share your reflections with the community. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more insightful content that will help strengthen your spiritual journey. Together, let's walk this path of faith, seeking protection and guidance from Allah as we prepare ourselves for the challenges ahead. If this video was helpful to you, please share it with your loved ones and leave a comment to tell me what you learned. Your support helps a lot to spread the message and grow this community. Barakallahu fikum.